coming along. I sanded the roof and everything above the rain tray thingy, and I started sanding, you know, from the front back, and you can kind of see a color change between the two. I don't know if that's just from dust or if it's from actually breaking through that outside layer that's faded a little bit. So I'm going to hose these two panels off just to get some of the dust to go away when it dries. We'll see how different it is. I cut a piece out. I went just below the seam where the plastic will cover it, because this is all dented in. This is all crumpled. I cut through just to kind of see what things are like, and then realized that, hey, there's a big structural piece here. The door hinge ties to that. The skin probably helps, but once it's in, it'll be stable, and we don't have like all kinds of weird things to worry about. We just get the new piece on, and the tail light should at least have a better looking seam, even though the corner of the van's going to be all jacked up. Raptor liner, that thing next. I'm going to put the part, here it is. So really, I came right at the edge of that, so I should be able to cut. Right, I should be able to come right here and go straight up, just like I did with this one, and it'll be close enough, right? So, yeah, I think really, I should just draw an outline and have it close. I'd like to do the like fancy angled cuts, like a real body guy would, but I'm dumb, so I don't know if I can get away with that. Well, I could, right? So what I do is draw a line and then cut inside that line, and then they like set this in place and put the disc in at an angle. So then once it's cut, you have a very little small gap, and these kind of like against each other. I don't know what's wrong with my time. I think that for this van, that's just going to look so much better than it did. Maybe I'll put a little bit of filler in there so that I could cut a panel. I could cut my panel. Wait a minute. Dare me? Oh, look how rusty it is. It's all Bondo already. Yeah, not worth it. Just gonna go. Yeah, big brain. I'm using the light to kind of hold it in place and line it up. So at least I know that's where the screw holes are. And it looks like my cuts aren't perfect, right, because the van's all smashed up. So I'll just line these up there, get this thing tacked into place, and then kind of make more cuts and figure out what I'm gonna do with it. I'll probably have to bang this down and just get it close and use some filler or something. But it's, I mean, it looks better already. But one thing, I was getting the welder out because I keep it under the stairs in my messy ass garage. This was the leftover from when I was working on the Jetta. And I had taken a picture of this, and I was like, oh, thinner, right, that's what you use to thin it. Nope. I grabbed this, and I was like, oh shit, like, wrong stuff. So I have some thinner, but not enough to do all of that. And I had bought this thinking I would use it as thinner. Dumb. So I think I'm just not going to thin it. I got the adjustable gun up here. Dom's dad had it. So what I might do is just mess with the pressure and with the nozzle and just get a texture unthinned that I like. And something that'll help with that is I do have one of the empties, and I got some ball bearings to help with the mixing. So I think if I do tint, right, I can do 4 ounces per liter like I did with the Jetta instead of 3. A little extra tint, but no thinner, and it'll just be fine. Yeah, that's the okay, well, in a professional setting, this would be hot garbage. It is going a lot better than I expected. So I've got some spots where I'm off, like, I don't know, 1/16th, almost 1/8 of an inch. I'll just fill or whatever, smooth it out. It's getting bed linered. And then I guess I'm just going to slowly stitch away at the whole seam, and then I just got to figure out what to do down here. But I think I'm at a point where I'll just get these, then I'll put the light back in and kind of see where I want this to go, and then figure out what to do about this giant ass gap from the dents. And there's a huge gap here too. I think that there's going to be some point where, like, this is so rusty anyway that it's just going to get a bunch of filler. And yeah, I expect anything that I touched, especially to this extent, this is all going to rust like crazy because I don't know what to do. I don't know what this stuff is. So the one on the sliding door had this black, I don't know, it almost like it, first I thought it was window weld, but it's not. It doesn't cure, right? So, well, anyway, pulling these out so I see, because these are the ones I cut and put in, kind of seeing where I cut and where the foam is and where these ceiling lines are. And I've got a pretty good amount of space all the way around. Same thing with this one. This one I cut. It's just way too wide. I got a different strip of rubbery stuff this time. But yeah, look at this crap. It's just like glued in, but not glue, because it's not, like, it peels off. It peels off that window, and there's some huge chunk somewhere. I guess it could have been worse. At least I can use it. Right. So, yeah. Trying to clean up real quick. It's supposed to rain. And then tomorrow, so it's going to be cold in the morning. I can't spray first thing in the morning, so I do have a little bit of time to like cut the holes for these windows. Hopefully get the windshield out. I'd like to put my one in from the basement that's not cracked. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I think especially with this corner being where it's at, if I hit that with some filler and sand it, fully paint it, it's going to look just fine. It's fine. Yeah, you're going to stomp it. Give it a stomp. More. You got to jump higher. Almost. Jump higher. Oh, you got a little crack there. Watch this. Crack. Now you try. Close. Stomp, stomp. Oh, look at that big one.
Cracked one.
Yeah, what every kid needs. Anyway, windshield's out. So I'll clean all this out, get all this rust cleaned up, especially make sure there's none going on up there that would turn into water leaks. And I've got a windshield with no cracks, maybe a couple chips, but no actual cracks in the basement that I'm going to put in. There's not much left to do for spraying. Gotta do some body filler stuff. And I'm gonna cut out for the windows because I can just make them match this, right? So it looks like, yeah, I basically just cut right along the edge, but looking at this gap, I've got a huge amount of space. Like I don't really need to. Well, that corner comes in pretty close, right? So where the seal hits, I'm like a 1/4 inch. So yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'll just cut right along this edge, right, and leave that big opening, but I can grab the panels and jam them in there and make sure they fit. And of course, there's one rusty spot, and I'm going to do dirt ball thing, because when people do dirt ball stuff, they never show you, right? They're always doing it to try to sell. And I bought based on name only, because the jokes write themselves. Okay, yeah, sure. It says it takes 8 hours to cure, but I don't know if I believe it. Yum. It's probably, this makes things worse, by the way, if people don't know. It'll look better in the beginning, but it won't be better overall. It doesn't stick to anything. Oops, fill it in. Fill those big gaps. Oh look, here's a hole. That'll do it. So we'll end up, when that cures up a bit, we'll scrape it off, cover it with that body filler, and then spray it. And it's going to look really, really good. But I don't know for how long. Yeah, it doesn't take 8 hours. I mean, maybe it cures in 8 hours, but we don't need it to cure. We just need some kind of backing for filler, so we're not as ugly as we should be. Right? So, especially under here, like no one's gonna see it, and now the entire world will know, one, why you don't buy from really, really shady car dealerships, because they do this all the time. Oh yeah, the inside's still a little undercooked, but exposing it like this so we can go faster. So the sooner that's skimmed over, the sooner we can put filler on it, and that can cure, and we can sand it, and we can paint the whole thing. Oh, shut it. I mean, he's doing his job, right? That's his job, to tell us where people are. I farted in Menards, and the guy walked right into it. I felt so bad for him. I didn't do it on purpose, I swear. Shit. Alright, we'll visit this in maybe another 15 minutes and skim it down some more. Right, so I got scale, I got the same gun as last time. I messed up the dial, but the nozzle's the same as I used on the car. So we'll spray some of the roof first and see what works. And then if we do this in grams, 50 grams, yep, is 5% tint. And I was gonna do 10% tint, but I don't think it all fits in the bottle. So I'm gonna see how much I can fit in the bottle. I don't have to mix it separate because it's, well, I don't have enough mixing containers for one. And two, that's just annoying. I guess worst case, I could do half bottles like I did before. Okay, I just shook a bunch of the hardener in. Let's see. One of the clean, it comes with so many mixing cups. I think this is the only, I don't know how to get this stuff out of here efficiently. I should put gloves on. Well, if I want 4 ounces, I'm gonna give this a thing. Okay, move to the floor because if Harrison comes through here and knocks the table over and spills 100 ounces of tint, I'm gonna shit. And then 4 ounces should be close to 100 grams. So if I have half of this full, like that's gonna be enough. This is such a dumb way to do anything. It's stupid, it feels stupid. Oh god, it's dripping everywhere. Alright, whatever. There's 50 grams, that's 5%. Oh, they weren't kidding. It's like almost to the brim, 103 grams, close enough. And shake it and spray it. Okay, so knob is on max, which I think is 60 PSI or something. Doesn't matter. Let's just see how it goes. Texture's not going to be great up here because of the different distances, but it looks fine to me. So, yeah, it's gonna be good. I put it on a little thicker there because I was closer. We'll get a layer on the roof, and then once it's on the sides, it'll be a lot easier to kind of see how it's gonna look. But that color, once it dries, I think that's gonna be really good. Take a quick break. Halfway there. I wonder how long I've been at it. Certainly more than an hour, that's for sure. Holy shit, it's 3:50. So 2 hours, roughly, I think. I think it was around 2 o'clock when I started. So anyway, I really like this color. I like it a lot. So I'm just really happy. This is the one I picked. So there's what I'm spraying on now in the sunlight, and then all the other colors I was contemplating, and that is almost exactly what I was hoping for. I almost forgot about these guys. Give them they're a little thick, but at least they won't be white on the front. And it looks like I missed a tiny bit of that corner. So I kind of want to go around, see if there's anything I can see that's still white, like in there, and I want to open this door and give that more of a spray. And then at the very end, I need to pull the tape off by the slider, open that up, and it's clear, like, because I can see through and see white, and I don't like that. I want to make sure that when the door's shut, I don't really see any gaps, and this stuff doesn't really overspray much, so I can get away with it. So, yeah, the formula for success so far has been to pour in the hardener. You're supposed to shake it 2 minutes, so I shake it a minute. That thins it out enough that when I put in the tint up to like the neck, which we're probably not supposed to do, and then I shake it for another minute, and it's been spraying great. I haven't had anything, any uneven color. Everything seems to match. It's working really nice. And then if there's a couple times where I put maybe a little bit too much tint in, just a tiny bit extra, and then when you put the gun in, it starts to come out the top, and I just hit my cleaning bucket where I've been spraying the thinner to clean the gun out, and I'll just hit that, it drops down like a 1/4 inch, easy to put on. But for anybody else interested in that particular paint, here's the sheet for it. So there's all your numbers, but really it's easier It's Toyota, and it's 6V7. It's the same green that's on like the new Tacomas and stuff like that. Only it'll be flat. And then the ratio I'm using is the max for the Raptor liner, which is 10% or 100 grams. Well, while I'm here shaking away, I just realized if I end up spraying all 24 liters, that's going to be 48 minutes of shaking. But take that for what it's worth. Anyway, bugs, right? Something I didn't touch on before. I've got, really, there's one up there, there's one down here. I think I got 4 or 5 bugs in the paint already. And that just happens when you're outside. But like this guy here, it's the nicest spots I don't care about. It's a little tacky, right? It's not, it's cured up enough, and now this bug's there. Just scrape them off, right? Don't try to pull them off while it's wet, because you'll just smear it with your fingers. It'll look like this. It won't have the texture. It just never quite looks right when you do that. So yeah, I highly suggest just let them dry in the paint, let them flip around, and then when you get to that part, just kind of scrape them off and paint their legs in. They poked right through that thumb. It's good. So yeah, outside's done. I didn't cut in much, just enough so I don't see white. I ended up using 16 liters, not 24, so I have a whole 8-pack left, which I could return for money, but originally the Q7 having a different colored hood and different colored doors from its little incident, we were going to vinyl wrap it, but our road's been closed and we're having to drive on dirt, and the wife says, oh, how about flat white? So, and she doesn't mind the texture of the bed liner, so I think we're actually going to pick out a nice white and do the Q7 in flat white with that leftover Raptor liner. Because just looking at the area, I bet the 2 gallons I have left will do that whole car. Yeah, the more I look at it, and like as the light changes and as it starts to dry, like I really like this color. I can't get over it. Like, I'm so glad I didn't go with purple. It's going to be great. So I'm going to wait a little bit, about an hour, and then pull my tape and everything. But we're at the point now where, especially like here, where there's going to be a window in the way, like I'm not even leaving a fingerprint in it. I can push in with my nail. It's still that soft. So really I could almost pull the tape now. Let me go to where last place I sprayed. Well, last place I sprayed was the hood. The hood was the last one. It's a little tacky, but it's not like, same thing, I'm not leaving fingerprints in it. I could pull tape now. Let me get this stuff off. Right, so I got thinking about, like, is it on thick enough? If I only used 16 liters, should I put it on thicker? And if you put this stuff on too thick, when it shrinks, it cracks. Because it's stronger than the bond it has with the paint, something like that. Not entirely sure. So then I decided to try math. What's up? Yes, I'll play with you. Give me 1 second to do some math. And then we'll kick that ball as high as we can. So here's math. So just by area, 166 long by 68 wide and 72 high. We could roughly turn this thing into a U-shaped shell, right? And that's these 3 numbers. And then the 4896 is the square inches of the rear doors. So basically 40,088 square inches of surface area. And that's if it was square, didn't have a front, and didn't have windows. And so just ballpark close enough, 85%, so roughly 34,000 square inches. 16 liters is 976 cubic inches of material, which goes into that 34.83 times. So 1 divided by 34.83, you end up with 0.028, so 0.028 inches. And you're supposed to spray this, it says for each coat, 2 coats at 7 to 10 mil each, right? Well, this is 28 mil. If I did 2 coats at 10 mil, it would have been 0.02 exactly. But our math's not exact. If I had gotten something like 0.01, right, that'd be so far away from the ideal number that it would concern me. Or same thing if I got 0.04, I'd say, oh, maybe it's too thick. Even now I'm wondering if it's almost too thick. But, yeah, so it's pretty much, at least this side I've done, this is barely even tacky anymore. I can feel a little bit of tack to it, but I'm not leaving any material. And it just gets better with time. I love it. Uh-oh. You having problems with your balls? Okay, don't hit your head on anything. Harrison, hold on. Let me make sure there's no, like, chunks of jagged metal and rust. There's weird stuff under here. I don't want you crawling under there. Let me get a stick. Yeah, we're about done. I got new rubber bits, came in yesterday. I haven't put any of the glass in yet. And started putting trim on. So got the front end back together. Really, like, this color's just so good. It's so good. It's gonna look awesome. And then Dave is gonna help me, neighbor Dave, put the windshield in tomorrow. That'll give it 24 hours to kind of cure up, and then I'll scuff it. Even though it's pretty rough texture, I'm still gonna give it some scuff with a 40 grit before we glue that windshield on, just in case. But yeah, and there's like little spots like here. These aren't painted. I got these painted for trim. Rear bumper's gonna have to have some glue because that one side's all jacked. But yeah, maybe tomorrow too I can mask off and spray these, like scuff and spray these down so that everything is the same color. Yeah, I really should do that handle. I did the handle on the back because it was really rough shape. Scuffed that up and painted it, and it just kind of like helps bring everything together. So maybe I'll pull those back off. This one, there's the actual latch hooks around this way, around a bar in there, right here. And I'm not sure how to make it. Like, it doesn't want to go over. It doesn't just like click over. So I got to figure something out. I probably have to take the panel off and pry on it or something. But yeah, super happy with how this came out for a bed liner. 9 out of 10.